Welcome to Political Perspectives. I'm Hugo Gurdon, Editor-in-Chief of The Washington Examiner. If you're joining us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, join our channel. I'm joined today, as I generally am, by Byron York, Chief Political Correspondent. And Byron, I want to talk about, to have a kind of an assessment, a broad 10,000-foot assessment perhaps, of the Trump administration. We've just completing Easter recess, and so we can look at the period between his inauguration in January and Easter recess, the first bit of his administration. And it seems to me there's a sharp contrast between the clear strategy and direction of policy domestically and much less clear about what he's doing on foreign policy. And I want to start with the thoughts about Ukraine and Russia. President Trump said, campaigned for re-election, saying he would end the war on day one. Now, obviously, that was a kind of permissible exaggeration, just meaning he would do it very swiftly. But actually, he's not doing it very swiftly. There seems to be no progress whatever. He seems to me to be being played by President Putin. And it's probably rather easy to be played by President Putin on this, because President Trump says, on the one hand, he wants peace, but on the other, that he might just abandon both sides to fight it out, which encourages Putin to believe, well, if he just waits and fights for a little longer, maybe the Americans won't be there. So is there any discernible strategy on what he's doing on Russia, do you think, or Ukraine?
Well, in the big picture of Trump's presidency so far, there are really two categories of actions. And the first is the category of things the president can do on his own authority as president.
Right.
And then the other category is things he needs somebody else to get done.
Right.
You can put Congress in that category, but also you can put Vladimir Putin and Zelensky into that category as well.
Right.
You have other actors who are a big part of the story, and Trump just can't dictate his terms to them. Now, you know, this is one of those things that, like tariffs, where I'm willing to just give it some time. Obviously, as you point out, when Trump said, I'm going to solve this on day one, okay, he was exaggerating, but he did mean quickly, and it hadn't happened quickly. So that's absolutely true. On the other hand, what you just get this sense of the United States being about to do something more. There are actually, sanctions have been, I don't want to call them a joke, but they've been kind of ineffective for a long, long time. But there are some sanctions that would work, which is the big one being that you sanction other countries that buy oil from Russia so that they don't do it. And then they're in trouble.
Yeah, that's very much what I think there's 82 senators backing a bipartisan bill to impose sanctions, and I think that's the secondary sanctions on energy sales.
Well, if you've got 82 senators who want to do something, the president just might find it in his heart to go along.
Yes, he might. Do you get the same sense of something about to happen on Iran? Because, again, this is something where, frankly, to my surprise, several weeks ago, perhaps a couple of months ago, Trump started indicating that he wanted a deal, or that some kind of revival of the nuclear deal that Obama got, which he criticized very heavily during the campaign. And so you again get what seems to me like mixed messages. He talks tough. He's stationed B-2 bombers within striking distance of Iran's nuclear facilities, and at the same time, he kind of talks about wanting a deal. I don't quite see where this strategy is going.
I'm totally baffled by this, and this is not something that he really campaigned on doing. I mean, the Republican position on Iran in the post-Trump years, the post-first term years, was that Trump had found a way to starve Iran of oil revenue. And they didn't have the money to put into their nuclear program, and they didn't have the money to finance foreign adventurism and doing things from harassing commerce all the way to the horrendous attack on October 7th. So they couldn't really finance all that. Now, Trump talking about a deal with Iran is kind of new. I mean, obviously Trump was famously throughout the Obama deal, he has had Republicans urging him to have the United States take out the Iranian nuclear facilities. Others say, well, let Israel do it, or help Israel do it, or one of these combinations. Make your own deal? I don't know.
Yeah.
So if he has something in mind that we don't know about, fine. But right now, I'm pretty confused about it.
I'm very confused. I think probably most people are pretty confused about tariffs as well. It's the final area of the foreign policy that I wanted to discuss briefly, because it seems to me to suggest a lack of direction. Tariffs are imposed, and then they're suspended before they get imposed, or they're threatened. It's very difficult to tell where things are. Do you think that it has now been decided within the administration that it's going to be tariffs are what Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, wants them to be, which is to say a bargaining chip to get a better deal? Or do you think tariffs are actually a policy of the administration? Where are we going on that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that if Trump basically decided to make deals today, he would end up with a higher tariff system that existed before he became president.
Right.
I mean, remember the big deal of letting the EU off the hook for a while. No, we're still going to leave that 10% tariff in place, but we're going to take away some of the big tariffs on automobiles or steel or something. And I think what you're going to end up with is multiple pullbacks and tariffs that stabilize at a position higher than they were when Trump took office.
Right. To switch to domestic policy, and this is an area, we're in an area then where it seems to me that the direction of the administration is very clear, that it's been very decisive. And I just mentioned two areas of policy. One is on illegal immigration. The flow of illegal migrants has across the southern border has essentially been stanched. Trump has been proved right that all he needed was a new president, not a new legislation from Congress. And on, for example, his taking on of DEI and anti-Semitism and the woke left, he's picked the sort of apex thought leader of that, which is Harvard University.
Right.
These are issues on which he is on the 80-20 side with the public. They can see what he's doing. On domestic policy, there really does seem to be much greater clarity, doesn't there?
Yeah. Well, first of all, on the border and immigration, it's just been a huge success for Trump. We know that there are a few cases like Kilmar or Abrego Garcia and a few others, and there are fights about whether they were given full due process before they were deported. These are minor things, and the public views them as minor things as part of a bigger good thing. So a big plus for Trump. The Harvard thing, I'm not sure how that's going to end up working out, because certainly attacking woke is very popular. But these universities do a lot of medical research. And you say, well, why cut all of that off? Shouldn't you just have a little more discernment in what you get rid of? And there would be plenty in the aid to any large university. But maintain the funding to some of these medical projects, by the way, with the reforms that you've already put in place at NIH about not letting them kind of just inflate the price of it that the government pays.
These things are being challenged, obviously, and some of those legal challenges will succeed, and Trump won't get everything he wants, but he really does seem to me to be fairly acting decisively, acting in a way that the public likes. And the final thought here is he seems to be blessed with an opposition Democratic Party, which is much less clear than the Republican Party is about what it wants to be and where it's going.
Yeah, well, first of all, they just lost. They lost in the presidential election, and they lost because they took unpopular positions. They took the 20 side of some of those 80-20 issues. I think there's another thing that's going on here, which is everything we've been talking about. Trump has been leading. Now, sometimes you're not clear where he's going. Sometimes you'd like to see him move a little bit over here, but he's been a clear leader. People like that. And I was reading a focus group the other day conducted for Axios of voters in Wisconsin who had voted for Biden in 2020 and for Trump in 2024. They were still with Trump right now because they feel that he's leading. They're not sure exactly where it's going to end up, but they think he's mostly going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, people who do not follow the news every single day want to see the country going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And they're not going to pay attention to every single little story that's out there.
Yeah, no, the right direction, wrong direction seems to be moving in Trump's direction. So, I think he must be fairly satisfied. Is it? So to take that period from inauguration to Easter recess, the first 4 months, how is it possible to kind of give a mark out of 10 that for that one can do that? Or I mean, is he's very much a president who is governed by the public opinion polls. They no doubt they all are. I think he would feel that he's achieving quite a lot, and that might be the independent assessment as well. He's achieving quite a bit.
I think you'd have to just do the 0 to 10 on various issues like we were just doing. But I do think, in terms of accomplishing stuff, to have a president fix a problem, a crisis that was a huge factor in the campaign, and I'm talking about the border and immigration here, to actually fix it in the first few weeks is kind of unheard of.
Yes, it's rather extraordinary.
So yes, let's say that tariffs is a self-inflicted wound, and he could have done a lot better, even if he wanted to impose tariffs. So yeah, take down the score for that. I don't know what to say about Ukraine now because I don't know where it's going to fall out. But having even one huge success that fixes a problem that was the number 1, 2, or 3 problem of most voters.
Right.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Byron, thanks very much for joining me here. Thank you all for joining us. Join us next time on another edition of Political Perspectives.